Country Club of Lansing. This is General Manager Wayne speaking. How may I help you?
Hi, Wayne. My name is Evan Lindman. This is going to be a kind of a totally off-the-wall question, but did a Greg Durbin happen to work for you guys? This would have been back in the day.
Oh, yes. I remember Greg very, very well. He used to work here at the Country Club. He was a very, very hard worker. He did very good at cutting the collars and the tee boxes. He was a pleasure to have. He also loved to talk to the members, and they enjoyed talking to him too, but it was a little bit of an issue because sometimes he would talk for 2 or 3 hours, and then he would realize, oh, I got to get back to work. But that was okay. They liked him, so we put up with that. The only issues we really had with his work was that we couldn't get him to cut the greens very often. He scalped them sometimes. But it's a learning curve with greens. We also started cutting at 5 a.m., but for some reason, he didn't want to come in until 9:30 or 10 because he said it was too wet to cut. Other than that, he was an amazing employee, and we really hated to see him go, but I knew he had bigger lawns to mow, so, it was okay. But he would also go on and on about some Turf Nerds promo code for this thing like a Quip Expo, and that if the club didn't sign up for a website with Ezra McCarthy at Green Frog Web Design, he would scalp the greens.
Huh. All right. Okay, thanks, Wayne.
No problem.
What's up, what's up?
Hey, it's Aaron with the Mowing in the Dark Lawn Care Podcast.
Hey, this is Tony's Lawn Care Talk.
Hey guys, Cameron here with the Lawn Care Life of Missouri.
Hey guys, this is Dan White with Lawn Care Unscripted.
What up, guys? It's Phil with Phil's Lawn Care.
And you're listening to the Turf Nerds.
Greg was finally back. We got another exciting episode, and I finally hit the record. Oh, there you go. If you guys are watching it live, Greg just vanished to a different camera. This is some cool live videos. This is why you guys need to watch us on here, Greg, right?
Yes, and I'm just trying it's what would that be? Kind of like multiple screens then, or you got multiple cameras. So
Yeah,
that's what we're working with here, I think. Multiple cameras.
You're cutting between different scenes, but we got a special guest on here, Greg, Jason Smith of Walnut Mountain Lawn Care. Jason was smart enough. He sent me an email, guys, because we're trying to get different guys on the show. We're changing up some of the formatting on here. Our new series called From the Field, Real Lawn Care Talk. And if you want to be on it, shoot an email to Turf Nerds Podcast at proton.me. Well, Jason's got a lawn care business. He also does a couple other things. Jason, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is just so fun because it's like of all the podcasts that I listen to, I think all of them are my friends, but I've never actually met any of them. So this is like as close as it gets.
There you go, Greg. How do you feel about that, man?
Oh, I've met a new friend. That's nice. So isn't that you've got a friend in me? Isn't that out of Toy Story, Evan?
Yep, my son watches me. My son JD watches a lot of Toy Story, so we're gonna do like a little intro, kind of fun opener here, Jason. Okay, so this could be kind of off the wall here for you. How would your kids, because you have kids, based off of what your email said, how would your kids describe Dad's mowing style in one word?
It depends probably on which kid. My son, he's 11, and he's been doing some stuff with me. So he would probably say strict.
Good way to put it.
All the others would probably just say fast.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Greg, you commented with the fast. He cuts a bobcat on the transport speed.
You cut on transport speed, Jason?
Absolutely, I do.
There you go. See? See, Evan?
There's other guys at the edge of the street. When we did our pro tips for mowing last show, I'm like, I take it medium slow to slow speed when cutting. That's how you get the best cut quality. Jason, another question. Here we go. Let's hop into this though too. How did Walnut Mountain Lawn Care start?
Oh boy. Well, see the short version or long version. We got 30 minutes. So the short version sure. So I grew up, my first job was working for my brother. I'm from Georgia originally. I was working for my brother. He was one of those do the lawns in high school and then figured out how to make it work and hired his other two brothers. And so I did that for years with him, and then went off to college, got married, moved here, had other jobs. Actually, immediately started working for UPS part-time in the mornings, and then did that for a long time and some other jobs along the way during the day. But then I started driving for UPS, and I did that for 5 years, and that was great. Loved it. Then I met a customer on my route, one of the businesses that I thought this was like the dream job. Nobody ever leaves UPS once you've reached the top pay. You should know that. But I did, because I was like, this is like the dream job. This is awesome. I love the people. And then I was there for a year and a half. And I mean, things had changed. I listened to all these podcasts and books about scaling. And I know now there's a way to scale that's good, and there's a way to scale that's bad. And I experienced the latter. And so 2024 started with a bang, in that I walked in one day and they pulled me over and they were like, we got to let you go. It was just totally out of the blue. So that stunk. But God provided. I mean, the story, every aspect of my life and just this whole journey has been God's provision. And so I was able to get back in to UPS, because I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. I got back in part-time, doing the early morning shift, and then that was in February, though. And I was like, well, I would go mow lawns, but it's February, so I guess I'm not. And then I didn't really have anything come up until the grass started growing. And then we have an acre, and so we had like a little 42-inch Toro. I had a trailer because I'm a redneck, and a truck. And so I'm like, well, I literally have everything other than a blower, so I'm going to go try to mow some yards. And God just provided a little bit last year, a little bit at a time, still doing the early morning UPS thing. And then, yeah, that's kind of how it got started, and kept going. And I went from, I just need to make some money to provide for my family, to like, I think I can actually enjoy this and really give it a good, really go for this sucker. And so that's last year and then this year. So it's just 2 seasons, but it's been a pretty awesome journey, and it's been super incredible how God has provided the whole time. So that's kind of the short version.
Huh. That's awesome, Greg. I mean, Greg, what you say, that's kind of how a lot of guys do it, and get in like that, and it turns into an actual career, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I started out with, I started doing it during the shutdown, and I actually had 3 jobs going at the time. And so I was kind of, just doing part-time in all 3 of them. So it was, actually the one was more or less full-time, but still had 2 other part-time jobs going as I was doing it. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm sorry, what are you doing at UPS then? Are you loading trucks?
The early morning shift, yeah. So I just load the trucks early. It's like it's like 4 to 8 in the morning. That's the shift. And so I still do that. And so at UPS, the part-time job comes with full-time benefits for you and your family. And I mean, I like to call it imaginary insurance, because it is so freaking good. And so when you got 4 kids, that's significant. And so that's a side note. I would love to hear some of you guys on the podcast talk about what you do for insurance, not necessarily particular, but like how much you set aside, what you plan for, because that's one of those things that, in the entrepreneurship journey, especially early on, I know that holds a bunch of people back. It's like, what do I do with this kind of big deal? And how do I go about it? And so, but anyway, so yeah, that's why I'm there. It's because it is just so good. Well, and then also it's income, especially over the winter. The hours get longer, which works out well. So yeah, it's just early mornings, get used to a lot less sleep, but it provides really amazing on that insurance side.
Well, two things. When I was in college, I had a roommate that worked at UPS. He was actually loading the truck. He got transferred to our room. He was in trouble in one of the other halls, and they kicked him out of there and put him in our room. And the funny part is this guy. We would get phone calls at 4 a.m., 4:30, saying where is he? This guy would just be out all night, and he wouldn't show us. Finally, we just started taking the phone off the hook in the middle of the night and said, if you can't show up for work, it's not our responsibility to answer the phone. What I should have done, if I was smart, is I should have said, because I think he was making pretty good money, I should have just said, well, you know what? He's not here, but I'll come in. Steal his job.
Taking you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I wish I'd thought to do that. So, well, you started out, you got your career going here. You're cutting lawns. Are you doing it full time then, real quick, or is that how is it?
No,
you're doing 4 to 8, and then how many? And then you run up, cut lawns.
Yeah. So you mentioned you had 3 part-time jobs. I like to say right now I'm living the part-time life because I do UPS part-time. I do the lawns part-time, and then I do, in that email, I said I started a laser engraving business. That was one of the things I learned at the job I was at for a year and a half. Learned laser engraving and was like, holy crap, there is so much potential here.
Yeah.
And so I haven't been able to do a lot with that, but slowly just doing some different things with that, trying to grow that business. So the lawns, I mean, it's like I said, God's been providing, and I'm doing like 3 to 4 days a week where, I don't know, 5-hour days, something like that.
All right, cutting it in. So you said God's provide, but you've had some ups and downs, and you had a neck injury, my understanding.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. What happened that week? What happened that you got a neck injury? And I know I'm saying it lightly because you can describe it yourself.
So I'm smiling because of God's kindness, and it's a funny story. And I can be thankful that it's a funny story, serious but funny. So last year I got fired from a job. And then I'm starting this thing. This year, I broke my neck, which is I mean, look, the fact that I'm sitting here is just incredible, and I'm just beyond thankful.
Praise God.
Yeah, and this tells you when. So, because I had planned for the winter, like I know what areas I'm going to go try to grow in. I know I learned a lot last year, what to do, a whole lot of what not to do, a whole lot of what areas I don't want. And so I had it all planned where I was like, all right, early spring, I'm going to start hitting these certain areas. So this tells you when I broke my neck. I was in the ER getting 2 different text messages from people saying, hey, my grass is starting to grow. Can you come give me a quote? I was like, of all the times. Yeah. No. So the story is I was actually that morning I had put out 15 yards of mulch with a couple buddies. And so then I went and handed out some cards, knocked on some doors, handed out some cards, came home, and I was with our kids in the woods across the street, and we were climbing trees. And there was one tree in particular that had a branch parallel to the ground, probably like 6 feet. Well, then it kind of went up at the end, and our kids, one of them in particular, there's a point here, I promise. She's been reading the Hunger Games, and she was talking about how it's so incredible that Rue, one of the characters, can jump from tree to tree. I like climbing trees. I've done lots of tree things, and so I'm like, it's y'all, you can jump from tree to tree, just don't be an idiot. So I proceeded to then literally take 2 strides on this branch that I was on, leap and jump to grab a tree that was next to it. And that tree, I would like to just point out, I landed the jump. I mean, I grabbed it. It was not my fault.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
I grabbed it, but the tree that I grabbed snapped at the bottom. And so I just fell straight back and landed on my back. And I didn't like it. It hurt, but I was able to get up and like, something's weird, something's off, and then ended up going to the ER, and they were like, you broke 3 vertebrae. So you're not going to be doing much for a little while. And so, but by God's grace, so it tore the ligament. So they fused 4 vertebrae in my neck. And God's amazing kindness, that the doctor was like, if you wouldn't have torn your ligaments, then I'd have just thrown you in a brace and said, don't do anything for a little while. But it wasn't any worse, and I'm just so thankful. And so one of the other reasons that I have to be so thankful is because my father-in-law, they live nearby, and he was just like, he's retired, and he said, hey, I will cover whatever you need if your customers will let me. And so thankfully, I didn't actually have many yards from last year. And so he was able to cover those for that time period until I was able to get back to it, and I've been hitting it hard this year since then. But yeah, it was
How long were you out? How long were you down?
2 months.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So
interesting. I had a roommate, a different roommate than the UPS guy.
I don't have my soundboard, Greg. Here we need to get a like an Uncle Greg drop for. Oh yeah, I had a roommate in college.
Yeah, my roommate, he broke his neck playing football, and he was a phenomenal football player. And preseason game, you know how like my son Drake broke his blew out his ACL just before the first game of the season. My roommate scrimmaging caught a pass, turned around, a guy clipped him under his chin and broke his neck. So yeah, that was brutal. I mean, he was all state, he was phenomenal, and his career was over. So disappointingly. So, but how'd your faith carry you through this through your recovery? How did you do?
I was just so thankful, and I mean, God's just, my faith is incredibly weak. And God keeps proving that He is faithful when I'm faithless, and so, I mean, that really is it. Like my faith was pretty weak, but He kept showing He's going to provide. He's going to provide, and like with UPS, I had the short-term disability, so there was money coming in, and my father-in-law, he handled, and like we just kind of stopped spending, and we were able to get by out of God's kindness and father-in-law's generosity, and I mean, God just showed that He's faithful when I'm not. And so that, I don't know, my faith doesn't say much about during that time period, other than just kind of trusting that He was going to provide. And my wife, let me just hang on, back up from the beginning. She's amazing and has been for like every one of these decisions, and she trusts that I'm going to provide for our family. And her name is Shannon, and so of course during this time she was carrying everything. And so she's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Shout out to Shannon. Evan, send her a sticker.
That's right.
You know what? I'm going to send her an autographed Turf Nerd sticker. It'll be worth nothing. We were doing a joke on the live stream the other night. Jason, we were doing a joke that Greg was 5 minutes late to get on the live stream because a group of 15 kids stopped him while he's mowing the lawn, and they all knew he was Greg, the Uncle Greg Durbin from Turf Nerds, a Lawn Care Podcast. So I'll send your lovely bride a sticker and be like, "Who's this weirdo?" So.
And I'll send you one from mine too, probably, right? So, it sounds like you 2 months in recovery, everything went well. What what lessons did you learn from that? One, don't jump from tree to tree. We covered that one already. What any other lessons you think you learned from that season, or?
Jeez. If you haven't caught the theme, a lesson is that God will provide and I can trust him. Because I often don't, and want to, I want to hustle so hard and prove that I'm the provider. And like that was definitely a season where he's like, watch and see how much you provide.
Yeah. God, birds of the air, God, if
right.
can provide for the birds of the air, think what he can do for you. Right. So,
yeah.
Evan, you got any questions?
Yeah, so as we kind of segue here, Jason, to kind of balancing work and the family side hustles, let's talk more about the lawn business here, man. What are some like early mistakes? Do you have any like funny things or any like serious things where you had to kind of learn quickly? Let's talk about kind of lawn care when you're getting into it. This is your second season, and then also we'll touch on equipment. But starting out, what are some of the early mistakes that you've kind of made in lawn care? Because all of us have been there, and all of us done it. I still make mistakes today with my lawn business. Greg and I are always learning. So,
well, not so much early on, but 2 weeks ago, got a mower stuck in the back of somebody's yard. That was exciting.
Always
and
fun.
on the back hill, and they weren't home, so I walked across the street and knocked on the neighbor's door and was like, "This is gonna be good." Answered the door. Hi, I'm mowing across the street. Can you come help me get a mower unstuck?
Well, here, I'll make you feel worse. This is back in the day. This is probably 10 years ago mowing when my brother helped me full time. We had a 1998 Ford Ranger and a 60-inch Exmark Laser Z. We're cutting a big lawn, probably 2-3 acres. Got the mower stuck, so I thought it'd be cool. Okay, I'll pull the mower out with my Ford Ranger. I got the Ford Ranger stuck in the back of this person's yard too. So my Italian neighbor at the time, Marco, I called him and he showed up in his big power wagon, pulled out the truck and the mower. It's the most embarrassing thing. So don't feel bad. So I still do stupid things to this day, but you live and you learn, right?
That's right. But last year, so learned what, I was taking everything I could get. So learned very quickly, wow, I am driving a long way for not a lot of money. So last year was a whole lot of just figuring, last year was, well, I need the money. The money is really important here. And so I'll work on getting route density later. But, finding the podcast world, which blew my mind, how large it is. That was just huge. And so, actually, I have two older brothers. Both of them are down in Georgia. I'm in North Carolina. They're both down in Georgia, and they both have their own lawn companies. One's solo, one has some crews. And so they've been a huge help also. I'm constantly calling them, asking questions, asking pricing. There you go, pricing. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. Charging nothing for, stuff that I should have charged way more for. Learning what types of yards I don't want, what kind of customers I don't want. That was nowhere on my mind of like having an ideal customer. Just trying to get anything I could. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I learned a whole lot of what not to do. I just,
Oh yeah, that's every guy in this industry. With that being said, what are you cutting with? What do you tow with? What's your trailer setup? Guys, we love to talk about this, and it's always a different setup, and maybe you can learn from what Jason has to say. So what are you towing with? What are you mowing with?
So if my wife hears me again say, I think I'm going to get a different mower, she might just lose her mind.
Oh boy.
So earlier last year, pretty quickly, I was able to get a Big Dog Trooper, which is what Tony had. And so I started searching for different things. I found a really good deal on one of those and got that. I enjoyed it, but, It was a 52 inch. I mean, that thing was a beast. That thing was awesome. But for some reason, I could not get it to cut the way that I just was never happy with how it was cutting. And I leveled the deck, the blade, all the things. And so finally this year I was like, I'm just going to get a different mower because it's driving me insane. I don't know what to do. So, this year I got a Bobcat, the ZS 4000, got the 48 inch.
Oh,
Hey,
you got a rider?
so
That's a standard, right?
standard, yeah.
Yep.
Then then I also got a 61 inch, the ZT 3000, which is the sit down that I quickly just, yeah, and it was good, but I think for what I'm mowing, which is pretty much all weeds, it's 24 horsepower, and it's just
Enough.
not enough. And so I'm still trying to sell that one. And so,
You put a 24 horse on that on a 61 inch?
yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's
So-
kind of underpowered. I mean, my multi-force 26 and a half, 60 inch, not enough horsepower. Maybe that's just me. So yeah, I was chuckling there when you said, yeah, I basically just mow all weeds. That's what all the guys in this industry basically just mow is weeds.
Yep.
Greg and I mow fertilized weeds, basically. So
No, I have.
But
I'd say half of mine are probably nice lawns. The other ones are weeds. So
So so the setup is and then I've finally found my what I'm wanting, and I think I'm gonna sit with for a while. And it's the 48 inch Bobcat stand on, and then a bad boy 61 Revolt, which is their stand on, and that's been pretty awesome. That sucker is a beast.
I'd have on.
And it's a 28. It's a Vanguard 28.
really, wow.
And I've been very happy with it.
I didn't know Vanguard
it's got
was on
quirks.
Bad Boys. So
Yeah,
I don't know if they're still on. It's a 2020. I don't know if they're still on there.
that's cool.
But so that's been that's been great. So I've got a 2001 Tundra. So 215,000 miles, I think.
right
Still,
until it blows
still
up.
trucking.
just getting
Oh,
that
yeah.
broken in.
That's right. Let's just hope it stays broken in, not
Not
just
broken.
broken. And then 7x14 enclosed trailer.
Good.
You guys kind of got me start thinking about the enclosed world sometime, I think probably last year. I don't know. Y'all talked about it at some point. And started making me think about that. And it's especially nice with the whole UPS thing. And I don't have the early morning. I don't have the option of getting up and getting out to yards early and having an early morning start because I'm doing the UPS thing, getting home, trying to do this turnaround, and head out. And so the enclosed thing has really been nice so that I can, at the end of my day, my last yard, I throw the locks on, get home, walk inside, and I don't have to do any sort of loading or anything the next morning when my time's already cut short because I'm trying to do the turnaround from UPS to the yards. So that security is, and just keeping it out of the weather, that's been just massive, and I've loved it.
Well, that's awesome. So you got running a lawn care business, UPS, laser and engraving. Quickly, like, how do you juggle that? We understand why you have the UPS gig because of the insurance and the benefits. Can't beat that. I totally get that. But how do you juggle those three businesses? Because I mean, you're on the. It sounds like you're on the go. And then, with that being said, how do you protect family time too with a wife and 4 kids? And how do you juggle all the jobs? That's impressive.
Well, how do I juggle it? Haphazardly. No, I don't. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying not to overdo it on any of them. I mean, the nice part is that I'm really thankful for is that I learned the hard truth that unfortunately I function really well with like 6 hours of sleep or maybe even a little less, but I love sleep so much. And so it actually works out because I end up not getting a whole lot of sleep at night. But then when I get 8 hours of sleep, like on the weekends, I'm useless. If I like sleep in, I'm groggy all day long. And so that's part of it is just it kind of just works out because I'm always antsy, tinkering, and gives me things to do. I think what's part of what makes it work is that the lawn stuff is certainly the income because you just the money is just so good. But doing the laser and I do woodworking, and so that gives me the creative outlet that I really enjoy making things. And so balancing, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. This year has certainly been more too balanced than last year. Last year was just like trying to survive. This year has been more opportunities and then trying to figure out how to balance it. So I don't know. I just am trying to figure it out as I go. And I'm thankful that like next Tuesday, we're going to go out on my in-laws boat. And I know, all right, cool. I'm just not going to plan anything that day. And I'm just thankful that I'm not trying to pack my schedule because I want to be able to do that. So I don't know.
Listen to that advice, guys. I mean, I've talked about it. I finally fixed my business over the past, I'd say, year or two. I'd say, it's good to overload lawns in your schedule to provide, but you don't want your business to own you. And it looks like, Jason, you have this kind of in control. Now, you did say that your kids, is your son, does he ever come out and help you mow here and there or kind of try?
He's done it a couple times. So he mows our yard and he has, he's probably been doing it for a year now, or I mean,
there you go.
Mows with whatever crazy mower I currently have at the time. He learns how to use it and has a blast. I just got to get him on the weed eaters. The gas weed eaters, man. Those suckers are heavy, and he's got to work on those muscles.
Actually, what trimmers are you using?
Echo 2620.
Okay.
Just the PAS system. So I've got that was like one of my best buys last year when I first got started. That was the two things I needed were a blower and an edger, or I was wanting to get a combo system of some type so that I could do the hedge trimmer. And I got the power head from Home Depot, and then from Marketplace, a guy was selling a hedge trimmer, the articulating hedge trimmer, the pole saw, and a weed eater. And got those for, I don't even know, like $200. And good night. That paid for itself so dang fast. Just those three attachments. But yeah, the Echo's been great.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, is that the same as the Shindawa, Evan? Is that the same as the Echo?
The Echo 2620. I have the Echo 2620T. Yeah, I have the Shindawa T262. So I think it is this. It's basically the same unit between the 2620 and the T262. It's almost the same, and then guys can choose what they like.
Heard the 262 is the lightest on the market. So, and if you take that guard off, it makes it even a little bit lighter. So half a pound to a pound lighter. So, and I don't know if you're using the guard or not. So, but some people
currently,
I'm not recommending people take the guard off. So don't take my advice, guys. But okay. So what's your vision for the company? What do you want to do?
Man,
what do you want to grow? And are you going to keep the part-time job gig at UPS? And by the way, we're going to back up in a second and talk a little bit about insurance that you were asking about as well.
Sure. Well, The interest. Okay, so to answer that, okay, vision. I keep, there's voices from both sides of scale or don't get the headache, don't bother with the headache, stay solo. But I don't know. I know I've got I can only go uphill, downhill, however you want to think about that. I know I've got so much work to do as far as density. I still am kind of all over the place.
You'll get that down. Don't worry about that.
But vision, honestly, my son's into it. He's only 11. He can change his mind, but I kind of think of it as like, shoot, if I could give him have something ready for him to be able to take on, I guess to answer the question, I don't know. I don't know, but I do, I love the idea of being able to, I love teaching. I love trying to help dudes, and love the idea of maybe being able to have employees with the idea of, we're going to get you set up to go have your own thing. Like, that is the goal from day one. Not that you be long-term with me, but you get set up, you take it and go do your own thing. I love that idea. I'm currently working with a guy. That's another way that God's been just so gracious this year, is this older fella. I was doing a yard in our neighborhood. The one yard that I do in our neighborhood that I didn't even get, a buddy recommended the lady to me. I was doing her yard, and this older guy came by, who has a lawn trailer, and he starts talking. We start talking, and he's like, "Hey, I got some yards that I'm just super far behind. Can you help me?" So I've started doing some stuff for him, and it's looking more now. I mean, at this point, I'm doing consistently 12 to 15 of his yards every 2 weeks. And it's looking like we've had some conversations about, like, I think he's planning on trying to go ahead and pass some of them off to me, and then maybe next year, who knows what he's even going to be doing. And he's just had such a hard time with employees, with guys that either get drunk or steal or are high, and yeah, I hate it for these lawn owners, and I hate it for these guys that don't see themselves as more than that, like these employees. And I'm like, man, I wish there's got to be a way that I can step in and try to, I don't know, help those guys and, figure something like that. I don't know. I'm just talking now, but
well,
I just, my heart goes out for both of them.
Yeah. If you get a chance to take over those accounts rather than buy them, this is how I took over a couple of accounts from someone. Is he wanted me to buy them out, and I said I just don't have the money. So What he did was he billed them. I don't know if you've heard this before. Is he pre-billed for the month, and so he just said, "Look, I've already cut them for 2 weeks. There's 3 weeks left in the month." or 2.5 weeks left in the month. You cut them for the rest of the month, and they're yours. So it didn't cost me any money. It just cost me a little bit of time. So if you get an opportunity, see if you can do it that way with the guy and take over a few of his accounts. That can help you grow some. So
yeah, I will definitely be looking forward for looking to how this kind of relationship proceeds.
Yeah. Second, you had asked a little bit ago about insurance and how we're doing it. Actually, Evan and I use the same guy for our health insurance, and I call it the Unaffordable Care Act, and but that's how, yeah, really, but that's how we do it, and fortunately and unfortunately, that's the route I've gone. It's a little expensive. a little more expensive than everybody thinks it is, but it also covers pre-existing conditions, and that's probably the biggest benefit of the act, is that it covers pre-existing conditions. So that's important for you to maybe consider there. But you can look into it. It depends on who your carriers are in your state. Offline, we could probably give you the name of the guy. Actually, Evan, we should talk about having him on the show. But offline, we could give you the contact information for him and see if you start to get out, if you decide to step away from the UPS thing, that's one option for you. Or for our listeners, if anybody wants to know, if they're looking for insurance, we might be able to help you find somebody that can help you guys out.
Huh, that's really cool. Yeah, and to answer your other question, you talked about how long sticking it out, man, with UPS. So one of our youngest daughters, she fell on her back a few months ago. We took her to urgent care, and she was in pain, and she broke her elbow last year. She fell on her back this year, and we weren't on UPS insurance yet last year, but on the way to urgent care this year. I mean, I just can't even explain the peace of mind and knowing that I could put 100% of my focus just on her with not even a hint of, oh my gosh, what is this going to mean financially? I mean, the value of that is just so huge. And so that's the part that's like, oof, I don't know. I'll probably stick it around there for a while just because I've got a number in my mind that I would want to be making before we were to ditch that. But that peace of mind is pretty dang massive, the value.
Oh, that's good. That's okay. You know, it's funny you talk about the injuries. I remember had to take one of my boys into the hospital for something, then had to take the other one into the hospital for something else, and back to the other guy. You know, so I'm taking these guys back and forth to the hospital, and I'm going, man, these guys are going to think I'm beating my kids. So it was just actually to the point where one time one of my kids got injured, and I took him to an urgent care just because I knew those people. And I said, look, he fell and hit his head. And they knew me enough that they've, okay, good. So, but I was getting concerned that they were going to probably start calling me out on something. So it was funny. Evan, go ahead.
Did they at least, did you at least have a punch card that they were like, all right, this one's free?
Yeah, should have.
They knew who it was. Everyone knows Greg. All right, Jason, here we go. We're going to kind of close this out and wrap it up. Okay, we're going to do some quick fire fun questions. I want you to answer these really quickly, okay? All right, here we go. Diagonal stripes or crosshatch?
Oh, man, diagonal.
Okay, gas or battery?
Gas. That's what I can do.
Oh, more power. Favorite mower so far?
Oof. I'm going to go with the bad boy.
There you go. And you got to talk to Bad Boy at the expo, Greg. We'll get on that. Okay, dream piece of equipment.
Maybe the Multi-Force. Just seems like you could do so much with that sucker. No, I take it back.
Good solid name you're giving us there, Jason.
No, Skag V-Ride 2. I said it there.
Skag V. Oh, it's a tough debate there, isn't that? Wow. Okay, so Jason, we thank you again for coming on the show with Walnut Mountain Lawn Care. Really quick, this laser engraving business. I'm cool. I'm cool. Wow, I'm interested by that. Could you do some of the laser engraving for kind of like your lawn biz too, or some like logos and things like that? Because that'd be pretty sweet to see.
Yeah. I mean, so like that type of stuff.
Okay. If you guys are watching this, he basically like has a Yeti and he's actually engraved a logo on it. So that's pretty.
Or like being able to do glass stuff like that. So
some glass turf nerds mugs. There we go.
Yeah, it's kind of anything. My business card. My business cards are actually the funnest part, which is a total waste of time. But this is actually not even lawn care one, but like they're metal business cards that you engrave on.
Look at that.
So they're pretty cool. I don't know that it's worth the time making them. So far, I've.
You there? Sorry. I think you just got cut out there. Hey, you back?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just saw it looked like Greg was saying something and I couldn't hear him.
Oh, no. That's why. This is great. Something happened with the mic, Greg? I'm not sure. We can't hear him. Sometimes with StreamYard, this gets all funny, but let me pray us out here, okay, right now. Down here is, hey, wait, here we go. What'd you have, Greg?
Somehow I bumped the mute button on my microphone. I have no idea.
I don't have my soundboard to put in some funny drops here. It's just on my phone. That's why I haven't talked much. So what'd you have, Greg?
I just said that I must have bumped that on my microphone somehow and didn't realize it. So I was going to say earlier, I was saying that Ezra, I think, has metal business cards, doesn't he?
Oh, does he?
Yeah. I think Phil had some more heavier, sturdier cards too. I'm gonna have to talk to you, Jason, about getting some Turf Nerds glasses and some cards, man. There, we'll give you some of our business, but let's pray it out here quickly, okay? And let's wrap this up.
Sure.
So, Heavenly Father, just thank you for this opportunity, Lord, to sit down here and get Jason on the podcast, Lord. Just give him vision and wisdom right now as he figures out and navigates UPS, lawn care, laser engraving. Lord, it's so awesome to know that there's someone out there in the lawn and landscaping industry that has given you glory with his business. Lord, thank you for healing Jason of the neck injury, Lord. That's all glory to you, Lord. You are the great physician, Father. Just give Jason vision as he continues to build up his business and figures out if he wants to transition away from UPS, even though the benefits are great. Just protect his family, Lord, and if we see him at the expo, it'll be great to see him, Lord, if it's your will. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
What's up?